Tom Golden won himself a national championship at Florida, but he found himself where he had to rebuild this year. Enter Xavian Lee, a do-it-all point guard who's going to come in and run the show. Today we're looking at his game film and breaking down what he's going to bring to the Gators next year.
Seconds to play. Williams, the on-ball defender. Lee, step back triple. Got it!
So I want to start this whole thing off by talking about Xavian Lee's three-point shooting. And what's really interesting to note about him is he's a substantially better shooter when he's going off the dribble versus catch and shoot scenarios. So he did not see a ton of catch and shoot looks last year within Princeton's offense, which is somewhat surprising. But what's even more surprising to me is that he was incredibly efficient when he's shooting off the dribble, when he's creating shots for himself. He's deadly with the step back. He's really adept at creating space and using screens efficiently to get a shot off that's both a high quality look and a difficult shot for many others, but for him is something that he makes consistently. So I think on the year he shot around 36.5% from three, which is a substantially high number given the type of looks that he was getting. So I think when you factor in what he's going to do for Florida next year, where he's going to probably have a little bit of better spacing given the relative talent around him, this is someone that could see an even uptick in his scoring average. Even when last year at Princeton, he was a really high scorer as it was. He's great at taking end of shot clock scenario shots, end of game shots. All in all, should be a great shooter for Florida. Now, one thing to note about Zavian Lee is that he doesn't shoot any mid-range shots. So last year, I think he took maybe only 1 to 2 mid-range shots. And for him, his counter to his three-point shooting is his ability to get to the rim. So if guys close out too aggressively or try to overcommit to his perimeter game, his primary goal at that point becomes, I'm going to turn the corner, try to get to the rim and finish. So he's really, crafty around the rim. He can avoid contact, avoid block attempts, which is really great. But he's also a really good cutter. So when guys try to overcommit off ball, he's really good at slipping, getting behind his man, finding a lane to the basket, and guys are looking for him. Now, I'm a little bit curious if maybe he shoots more mid-ranges this year and becomes a little bit more efficient at the rim because of that. My reason for this thinking is simply because Princeton's offense is designed to limit mid-range shots. They want threes, they want looks at the basket, but Florida can largely be the same as well. Either way, it's important to know Xavian Lee has a counter to his shooting and he uses it. Next, I want to talk about what makes Xavian Lee truly special, and that's his ability to get the ball to the right person at the right time with his passes. So there's a lot to love about his game as a playmaker and creator for others. First and foremost, he keeps his head up at all times. So in the fast break, he is looking down the court and seeing how he can pitch the ball ahead effectively and how he can make a play as quickly as possible early in the possession as possible. So that's one aspect of it that I like, and it's a trait that's not that hard, but he can really be dynamic in floating the ball over the top. Secondly, I love his ability to get paint touches off of breaking his man down off the dribble. And once he gets to the paint, he is looking for options. It could be a cross-court pass to the corner. It could be hitting a roll man down the middle of the court. Speaking of roll man, when he is in a pick and roll situation, he's highly effective. So he's able to really draw the help from the roll man's defender and drop off some really impressive dimes that lead to a lot of dunks, a lot of really athletic finishes. And Florida fans are going to love that because they're going to see more lobs this year, and they'll see some really exciting plays. Now, lastly, I want to talk about his potential as a defender. And while I don't think he's somebody who's going to smother the ball and provide immense on-ball pressure, he is very crafty and opportunistic in the passing lanes. So he has some athleticism. He uses it well. He'll try to deny passes, get in lanes, get deflections, and go the other way. He will try to steal the ball when he is an on-ball defender. But, I think his best trait here is just being off ball, reading passing lanes, and breaking on the ball. He has a good eye for it. I think a lot of that translates from him being a point guard, but overall, solid defender. So let's wrap this up. What are my final thoughts on Xavian Lee and his fit with the Florida Gators? Well, for one, I think he's going to be a lead guard that is efficient on offense, that has a high volume, and his usage remains somewhere in the neighborhood of where it was at Princeton. Now, I think that he could take a leap as a playmaker and getting others involved, simply because he's going to have more talent with him next year at Florida than he's had at any point in his college career so far. That's going to allow him more space just naturally. He's going to be able to have more one-on-one matchups where he's going to draw less help because there's less help to be given. I do think he's going to have to adjust to playing in a more athletic conference. He's going from the Ivy League to one of the most athletic conferences in the nation, in the SEC, so there's going to be an adjustment period. But I think he's going to be able to make it and is going to be able to play really well. I think from a playmaking standpoint, Gators fans will be just excited on the edge of their seat from his ability to deliver the ball efficiently in the right spot in exciting ways. So you'll see a lot of alley-oops next year. You're going to see a lot of dunks off of rolls and dunks in transition. So get ready for that. But what do you think? Time for you to give me your opinion. Drop a comment below. How do you think Xavian Lee is going to do this year for the Gators? And what do you think their ceiling is as a team? Are they even going to have a chance to repeat next year as national champions? I appreciate you being here as always. If you could, please like, comment, subscribe, all the normal stuff that helps me out more than you know. But I'll be here, later on this week, early next week, have another one of these videos. Hope to see you on the next one. Have a good day.